All right, we're doing our NBA Rapid Fire. This is my very favorite segment. We're going to do it with Craig Trapp.
Excited. Last full day before the All-Star game. Of course, on Thursday is just 2 games. So time to build that bankroll. And then if you're just an NBA bettor, take a few days off and watch the All-Star game and all the festivities.
I was telling everybody about our 15% off promo code CHARM. Everyone should take advantage of that. Well, let's start, shall we? Golden State Warriors at the Phoenix Suns. The Warriors are 12-42, 26-27-1 against the spread. 2-8 in the last 10 on a 3-game loser right now. They did drop the last game to the Heat by a fair amount of points. What's that? 12. I can do math better than most of these college athletes, trust me. They're 5-23 straight up, 14-14 against the spread at home. Total's gone over in 7 of the last 10. And then Phoenix Suns 21-23, 25-28-1 against the spread. They're only 3-7 in the last 10. And the Suns, although having said all of that, are still favorites at 7.5 points. Craig, help me, please.
Hard to put your money on the Suns team that's just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 and straight up. So to me, I think you have to take the points with the Golden State Warriors. Of course, the big trade, getting Wiggins from Minnesota and shipping off D'Angelo Russell was the big news at the trade deadline for Golden State. I think he's a much better fit once Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green all get healthy. I think this team's going to be one to reckon with again next year. And I think Wiggins has a big game here tonight. I think the Warriors maybe even win this game, but at the worst, let's take the 7.5 points. I just think Phoenix is not a team you can lay, even at home, lay 7.5 because Phoenix is just not good against the spread.
All right, so grab your Old English, put it in a paper bag, because we're going to talk about a bump fight, all right? I'm talking about the Hornets and the Timberwolves. This is not a game that I'm going to watch unless there's money on it. Hornets are 17-36. They've lost 8 of their last 10, but they are coming off a win in Detroit, 87-76. If you think 8 out of the last 10 is bad, well, the T-Wolves have lost 9 out of their last 10. They're 16-36. They're coming off an 11-point loss in Toronto, but hey, everybody loses in Toronto, right? I got Minnesota -7 at home. The total did some funny things here. I saw it open at 221. Now it's all the way at 226.5. Craig, help me out here.
Well, this is like, scratch your head type game because how is Minnesota favored by 7.5 over many people? I know Charlotte's been bad, but hey, Charlotte, at least on the road, is 14-14 against the spread. Guess what? Minnesota at home, 6-19-1 against the spread. The worst team against the spread at home this year. So I think you have to take the Charlotte Hornets here. I think Charlotte Hornets might even win this game outright, but at the worst, I think they cover this big spread of 7.5 and head into the All-Star game with at least a little momentum after a really struggling start for the Charlotte Hornets.
All right, next up, let's do the Portland Trailblazers at Memphis Grizzlies. The Trailblazers 25-29. They're 23-29-2 against the spread. They've won 7 of the last 10. As for the Grizzlies, they're 27-26, 29-23-1 against the spread. They've won 7 of the last 10, coming off a 106-99 win over the Wizards. They're 15-13 straight up and 16-12 against the spread at home. They're 11-3 as a favorite, and they are 4.5-point home favorites here with a total of 234.
Well, the Grizzlies have been a lot better lately. This young team has really started to put things together. Had a nice win at Washington. That's a tough place to play sometimes, especially for a Western Conference team. You're going to play one of the, bottom teams in the East, but they didn't have any letdown there. I like the way Memphis has been playing. Portland, of course, is in a back-to-back here. Damian Lillard is playing MVP type level, and it's hard to bet against him right now. So to me, even though I do think the Grizzlies win and cover this one, I think you have to play the total in this one, and I think I'd play the over here. One, you got the Blazers, like I said, in a back-to-back spot. Really tough spot to finish out the regular first half of the regular season, go into the All-Star break, and you face a Grizzlies team that really likes to push the pace. So let's take the over here, and I think this over is actually up a little bit. I have it at 235. I even see it at 235.5, so make sure you shop it around. But let's take the over Blazers at the Grizzlies.
All right, next NBA pick I have for you. We're going to do Miami and Utah. Now, when I was looking over things, these two teams could really not be more alike on paper. They're both 35-18 for the season. They're both 5-5 in the last 10 games. They both average 111. They both give up 108. But where they differ is that Utah has won their past 3 games, and while Miami is coming off of a win at Golden State, they lost the 3 before that. I'm showing Utah at home -5.5 with a total of 217.5. Does Utah keep on winning here, or is the Heat looking to ignite some fires?
Well, I'm back on a total on this one again. I just think these are 2 pretty good teams. And the Andre Iguodala trade, I think, they're continually going to be working him into the lineup. I think that's going to be a nice improvement come the second half of the season after the All-Star break. I love Jimmy Butler. He's just a guy that I just don't like to bet against because the way he plays, the amount of intensity he plays with on both sides of the floor, he just doesn't take plays off. It's the type of guy you love playing as an underdog, and that's what they are here tonight. So to me, I think Utah is the better team, and at home in the thin air, last game before the All-Star break, I think it's a tough spot for the Heat. So to me, I think you have to go with the total here, play a little safer. 2 pretty good defenses. Both of these teams have hung their hat on defense when they play their best this year, and I like the under 217 in this one. I just think you're going to see a lot more defense than what we've seen. Most of the league this year has been a bunch of high-scoring games, but these are 2 teams that don't necessarily give up a ton of points. Like you said, both of them give 180 games. So I could see this one staying under the 217 total here.
All right, what next up? Sacramento Kings versus the Dallas Mavericks. The Kings 21-32, 26-26-1 against the spread. They're 6-4 in the last 10, coming off a loss to the Bucks. The Mavs. Speaking of Mavs, the new Top Gun movie's coming out, but we'll leave that one aside.
Wow.
32-22, 28-23-3 against the spread. 4-6 in the last 10. Lost to the Jazz last time out. 14-14 straight up. 10-17-1 against the spread at home. DeLon Wright, Luka Doncic. Thank you. I get it. Should play. Total's gone over in all of their last 5 games. And then Mavs are 6.5-point home favorites. No total, though. Seems about right to me, actually, Craig.
Well, the problem here for the Dallas Mavericks has been they're just so banged up this year. It just seems like right when they get Luka back, then somebody else goes down. I just think it's been, and I think after the All-Star break, they probably could use this break. They're going to be a team to watch, I think. But I think this is just a little too many points here. I think the Sacramento Kings have started to put things together. 6-4 against the spread in the last 10. They're actually not bad on the road, 16-11 against the spread on the road this year. And Dallas hasn't been a great home team, surprisingly. They're just 10-17-1 against the spread at home.
Yeah,
so to me, I think you have to take the Kings here. I just think the Kings are getting 6.5. I even see it at some spots at 7, so make sure you shop this around. I think the Sacramento Kings are a dangerous spot to even maybe win this outright, but I don't think I would play the money line here. I think I would just stick with the 6.5 or 7 that you can get.
Okay, so last one for you. We're going to talk Lakers and Nuggets. And speaking of that All-Star break, I'm kind of wondering how Team LeBron might be affected by this matchup. Lakers are 40-12 for the season. They've won their last 4 of 5, but they haven't really been playing the toughest of competition. And when they did play the Rockets at home, they ended up losing. The Nuggets are rocking it out as well. They too have won the last 4 of 5, but the last game was a doozy. They were down by 23 points to the San Antonio Spurs at one point. They did rally back, but seriously, 23 points is a little much there. I'm not showing any advanced lines on this. Did you get any line?
Yeah, the advanced line I see is the Lakers -1. Okay. I wouldn't be shocked if even Denver is favored at 1, but I think it's going to be around that number either way.
That seems right.
I don't see any total yet listed, but I think these totals probably the Lakers game seems like they're in the high 220s or low 230s every game. Right. I think though when you look at this game, it's all about motivation for both 2 teams that have a fair amount of All-Stars or players playing are going to be in the All-Star weekend festivities. LeBron, obviously, like you said, he was, he's a captain of one of the teams, had to select one of his teammates selected Anthony Davis, number 1. I like this Lakers team. I just think they're going to play motivated here. I just think LeBron, he's been on a mission this year, I think to show everybody that, last year was, not his best, obviously, and set out most of the last part of the season there. I think he's, as much as I hate to say it because I don't like LeBron, but I think he gets this one done in the thin air, in Denver, but I think it's going to be a doozy, a very good game to watch. Maybe one of the better games to watch. Other than I did love that Houston game when Houston played every guy under 6'7", and they still beat the Lakers. That at LA, that was impressive. I think maybe that is maybe the way you beat the Lakers. You go really small, so that way you take out Dwight Howard.
That's a good call. Okay, so what was your pick on that again?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Lakers -1. I just think the Lakers are clearly, when motivated, the best team in the West outside of the Clippers. But the Clippers did lose last night. So I think the Lakers would like to go into break with, a little bragging rights that they're kind of headed in the right direction.
All right, guys. Craig, thank you so much. You can find Craig's picks up at picksandparlays.net.